Hey everybody, today I want to talk about the Ontario 6145 military machete. Let's take a look. So let's take a look at this bad boy. We've got us 18-inch blade, and as you can see next to the HK Ally, it is freaking massive. Couldn't even fit it in frame. It's a colossal beast, and it cuts like a colossal beast. Rather, it chops like a colossal beast. But from the factory, it comes very dull, like it's supposed to. They do that so you can pick which angle you want to put on it. I went with a 25-degree angle. It's 25 on each side of the blade. And this Smith sharpener works real well. It's just the right angle for durability while still being sharp. You can't go too sharp on a machete, otherwise it gets dull too fast. 25 degrees on each side I found is perfect. And let's see, you can kind of see what that looks like. Obviously comes out to 50 degrees total, which looks like this. You can see that it's pointy, but not so pointy that it's going to get dull quick. And it's a balancing game with machetes. You can't be too broad, otherwise it's just dull. And you can't be too sharp. And 25 degrees I found is about perfect for wood chopping. You could probably go up to 30 for wood chopping, but I like it a little bit sharper. And yeah, this one comes with a wire brush in the handle. So what you do is you just kind of pop this out, and you can wipe down your blade before you sharpen it. That way, if there's any like dirt or rocks or whatever, it's not going to screw up your sharpener while you're sharpening, which I thought was a really nifty feature, and Smith's was pretty clever to include this. This sharpener actually costs almost as much as the machete itself, but you need it. And I haven't had any durability issues with it. I've used this sharpener quite a bit, and the machete just sharpens up real nice each time, and it's very quick and easy. Yeah, you got to use the wire brush though. I mean, well, you could wipe it down with a cloth, but it's nice having a wire brush. It's a quicker process. It's a very nifty feature. And as you can see, it's just freaking huge. This thing is a small sword in its own right, and it just chops and chops and chops. I've got like 2-inch branches completely chopped with one stroke before. It's got a lanyard hole for some reason, which I'll never use, and I don't really know why someone would use a lanyard hole for that, unless that's something else and I'm just a retard and it's not for a lanyard. And the fit of the scales to the metal is kind of sloppy, but it doesn't affect function, or at least I haven't found it to affect function. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see here there's a little bit of space like between where the scales would be lining up with the metal. And I mean, I haven't had a single problem with it. Some people said, like in other reviews, that it hurt their hand, but I haven't had that. It's got this phosphate finish on it, and I haven't had any problem with rust, but I do live in kind of a dry area. So, if you live in a moist area, you might want to keep an eye on your rust situation. But I personally haven't had any problems. I do oil just the blade a little bit, like the tip, or not the edge rather, not the tip. And it also does not come with a sheath. You're going to have to buy one separately. This one, I believe, is from Rothco, and it works really well. It stays insecure, and it has a big belt loop, which I'll show here in a minute, and it's also got molly straps on the back. So you can attach it to your molly gear or your belt, and I find this one works really nice. It also has little pouches for if you want to put a sharpener or fire-making equipment. It's a nice little sheath. And the molly straps are actually what I use. I attach it to my backpack, and these straps work really well, keep it nice and secure. It doesn't bounce around too much, luckily. And it also has these little like D-ring things that you can make like a sling out of and just wear it on your back, but I haven't really tried that. Some people do. I don't know. I'm a molly guy, so like as you can see here, I've just got it on the side of my backpack, attached to some molly webbing, and it actually doesn't bounce much because the highest molly point is just under the handle, so it's not very top heavy. The only thing that I always have to be careful about is that it does stick out a little past the bottom of my pack. And so I usually put my sleeping bag or a blanket or something on the bottom of my pack so that when I set the pack down, it doesn't put pressure on the tip of the machete. And I also leave some slack in the MOLLE webbing so that if the machete was pushed up, that it would just go up without bending. So this system works really well for me. Haven't had any problems with it, and I've used it extensively. Not bad at all. The belt loop I've actually not tried, but I suppose, I don't know, you could. I think it would be kind of sloppy or just bounce around a lot. But this whole area here just opens up with Velcro, and you could fit it on like a 2 or more inch belt, no problem. Not really my cup of tea though, but for some people maybe they like that. And the pouches, I haven't actually decided what I'm going to put in there yet. I'll probably find a smaller sharpener to take with me on the go. But, you know, maybe some fire making equipment or some matches or water purification tablets, you know, whatever you think is necessary. I suppose you could put a little oil in there or a pocket knife even. But these little pouches, I think they're nifty. I just haven't gotten around to figuring out what to put in them yet. And the attachment strap or thumb retention strap works really well. This thing does not move at all, and it hasn't come loose after I've marched with this thing, well, dozens of miles. I won't say that I've used it like for years, but I've used it for several weeks now and haven't had a problem with it. All in all, it's a really nice machete. I think you should go out and buy one right now, and frankly, if you don't, you're probably a goddamn communist. I'm out.